how do you convert content to copy? I get this question a lot, and I did a poll recently on LinkedIn where I asked people what they wanted to me to show the behind the scenes, how I approach different things, and this won out above everything else. So what I thought I'd do today is, for one, first give you a kind of a brief background on what's the difference. Some of it's review. I've talked about this a lot on LinkedIn, and then to give you a specific example of a piece of content I wrote for a magazine, for an online magazine, that ended up, just for the sake of this video, to convert it if I had to write it as copy instead of content. Okay, so a couple things right off the bat. The main difference between content and copy is that content is written to inform or entertain. So think about like blog posts or articles where you want to find information about something. Copy has an end result in mind where you want that reader to take a certain action. So usually it's something like click on this link or sign up for this webinar or register or schedule a meeting, that kind of thing. So that's the action. And that's the actual point of conversion as well in the copy. What I want to do is to show you the original content, and then how I would approach it if I were to write it as copy. Okay. So this prevention article is one that was, obviously, it's several years old. They don't even have the image up for it anymore, but it's still online. And it is about how people do all these things that they think are good for their health, and they could backfire on them. So each one is like, you drink skim milk thinking that's best, but research shows that whole milk actually helps you lose weight faster. Signing up for a yoga class when you think that, that's the way to go, when it actually ends up hurting you. So what is it about that? Like, I looked at it and said, okay, so if this were to be a piece of copy, and say the call to action was to sign up, maybe something simple, sign up for the complete checklist of exceptions to the rule and how you could overcome them, for example. So what I did is I focused on the headline, because that would be the thing that would capture people. 80% of people do not even make it past the headline. So I thought of, are you the exception to every health rule? Now, if this is you, you'd be saying, well, yeah, I follow all these instructions and I end up in worse shape than before. So that's the eye-catching headline or something like that I would use. And then we get into, I use a formula, copywriting formula, PAS, for problem agitation solution. So this is what I use for a lot of copy. And so you start with the pain. So people are like, they're captured by the headline. Yeah, I feel like I'm the exception to every health rule. And then the pain, one of these may really hit home for the reader. You eat more fiber and end up with cramps. So you think you're doing something good by eating more fiber, and you end up in worse shape. You drink diet soda and you gain weight. Like, what is up with that? You signed up for yoga and ended up, thinking that you're going to be more flexible, but you end up pulling a muscle. So what gives? It's not you. Well, it is, but you're not alone. So here, what I've done is I've presented the pain, what gives. It's not you, but it kind of is. So it's like aggravated. So that's the agitation part. And then I start to lead into, and this is very simplified, by the way, I start to lead into the solution. So general advice you find on Google is just that, an overarching set of tips created for the average person, and not everyone fits that mold. Now, the solution is, so now we have the problem, agitation. Solution will depend on what call to action you are presenting. So the solution may be for a complete list of other exceptions to the rule, and to see, how you may fit in, or however you want to word that. That would be, click here. Another may be, listen into our free webinar that, with expert Dr. So-and-so, will talk about how to overcome some of these exceptions. Or whatever slant you want to take. You can make this a fitness thing. You can make it a health issue, and then focus in on that. But the difference is, at the end, you will have a call to action, and the chances are it's probably going to be gated, because you can, this part will be ungated, but at the end, you want to capture emails for whatever it is that you want them to sign up for. So that part will be gated. Okay. So I hope this makes it clear on the difference between content and copy. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. I'd be happy to answer.